Alright, hi, we are 11th Hour, although you guys probably know us better as the Fur Group. I'm Caitlin, I'm an animation major.
I'm Julie, I'm also an animation major.
I'm Billy, I'm also animation.
I'm Vinny, and I'm a 3D modeler.
Okay, so this semester we are focusing, our goal is to create a comprehensive pipeline for using Fur and Autodesk Maya, especially for animation. We want to focus on low budget users, so students or small companies or hobbyists, and we want to make sure that we're keeping track of the speed, the cost, and the quality of our solution for this. We were inspired from a short animation we did last semester that had sheep. We started using the fur on the sheep, and we had never used Maya fur before, and at the end of the semester when we were trying to render out these scenes with dozens of sheep in them, they were taking upwards of 20 minutes per frame, which really didn't work for our timeline, and we were kind of panicking. Our solution came in the form of using passes. We didn't know that you could do a fur pass in Maya, but if you move things out, so you have a base layer, you have a shadow layer, and you have a fur layer, you can switch the settings on the fur layer to make it quicker to render, and you don't have to affect the rest of the render, and then you put them together at the end to make the animation. I'm going to define rendering now for any of you who don't know what it is. It's creating an image from the geometry, the viewpoint, textures, lightings, shading in a scene file in Maya or whatever software you want to use, and then stitching it together to make an animation. Render engines, on the other hand, are not trains. They are the product that you use to put together these renders, and you can get it, it's like an engineering program that can come bundled with an animation software, or it can come as a standalone. Where there's a lot of options available for rendering fur and a lot of render engines out there, and we want to find the best solution and show it to people, provide it to them as like a guide that they can follow, and they can get the results that they want without having to inefficiently spend their time or their money. As a research question, we wanted to compare in Maya the render engines that are compliant in Maya and see how they work with rendering fur. Our hypothesis is that we can get quick, high-quality renders from Mental Ray that stand up comparatively to other render engines. So we went out and we looked for render engines that are available on the market. We looked at ones that are compatible with Maya, and then we investigated further if we found one that was good. We set up a controlled environment to do the tests in, and made sure that we had everything set across the board. Mental Ray was one of the ones that we chose to use, obviously, because it comes bundled with Maya. It's got a standard in the industry for being pretty good. It makes really nice looking fur, but if you don't know the complexities of it, if you don't know how to change the settings right, it can take a really long time to render. So Mental Ray is kind of touchy. V-Ray is kind of the new kid on the block. It has its own fur system, but it can be used in Maya as a plugin, and you can get it for about $1,300 standalone, but if you have a student ID, you can get it for only $125, which is really nice. We're also looking at RenderMan, Pixar's RenderMan specifically, which renders Maya fur as a plugin. It uses deep shadows, which is what it uses for a realistic look by using special shadow maps, and they boast the high quality fast renders, so we were really looking forward to working with that. We were also going to work with Maxwell Render, but Maxwell does not by default render Maya fur. It needs geometry to render out, so you would need to convert to polygons, and that was a little bit more complicated than we want to get into, so we cut that out of our testing. This is a default test scene that we're using. We have one light, directional light, then an ambient light, backplane to catch the shadows, and then one sphere that is using the default Maya fur preset of mouse fur. So we're keeping that the same across all of the render engines, and if we change anything, then we change it for all of them, as well as using the same computer to make sure that doesn't affect time. Our product is going to be the step-by-step guide. It's going to have screenshots of everything so that a user can follow it and get to the results they want. And we're also creating an animation that was inspired by the Pixar short intro with Luxo the lamp. We wanted to do an animation because it's a way for us to implement the techniques that we discovered last semester, as well as use what we learned this semester with our testing, kind of show it off in a way that's fun for us because we're all animators and modelers, and this is a way for us to kind of beef up our portfolios and keep working on our skills as well. It's not all fun. We've had a lot of issues and it's been kind of frustrating. This is a rig for a fox that we wanted to use in the animation as well. It's kind of wonky at the moment, and although he looks naked now, he's supposed to have fur on him, so we spent a while trying to figure out where the fur had gone. It was fun. Our final presentation is going to be on April 18th, Thursday, coming at us fast. So before then, we want to finish up our paper and the animation, close up the testing, and just take care of any other problems that might arise, as well as keeping track of 450 so that we don't go bankrupt. We also want to give out some special thanks to Professor Morales, who helped us with the technical side of things and gave us access to CGT 346, or Konoe 346, and the equipment there, as well as Peter Moxham, who is Pixar RenderMan Sales, and Matt Brisbane, who's on the Industrial Advisory Board, for giving us advice and showing interest in our project. And that's where we're at so far. It's been a learning experience this semester. I've probably sent out way more emails than I have in the rest of my college career, and we've learned a lot more about Maya than probably any other semester. So if you have any questions, just let us know after class, and thank you.